When you're looking at marketing, there's obviously like a difference in who's on what platforms on different age demographics. How much of that do you weigh in on like your how you consider marketing? Are you targeting specific demographics with specific mediums? Where do you see opportunities there?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely take a more customized approach. So when we sign up a client, we do have an intro call with them and, learn about their market. We are doing that research prior to that call as well to really kind of see what their demographics are in the area. And we definitely tailor our recommendations to, their market. So for example, if they're in a younger family area, definitely recommend starting like a free kids vitamin club, or making sure that they're promoting online refills, those types of things that younger people tend to migrate to. The vitamins and supplements, those types of things that maybe if they're not on a lot of prescriptions, there's still an opportunity to come into the pharmacy. So and I think you really have to tailor your marketing to really kind of hit those targeted groups. I mean, in general, I would say with pharmacy, women age 40 plus are kind of our target demo. But to really, I think, be effective, you need to kind of hone in on, what's my local market looking for. If you're only relying on that older demographic and never doing anything to get new patients, younger patients in the door, it's like, where's the longevity of your business? So
Right.
that's where it's getting those younger people in, or, finding that target market. Maybe you do compounding. So trying to look for women that would benefit from HRT, or, veterinarians, people with pets, things like that. So I think you're going to have a much better successful campaign if you try to find those targeted groups rather than just trying to hit everybody. Because the message is going to get lost with it when it's just kind of blanket approach.
Sure, sure. What about on like different age brackets, specifically on like social media? I read an article the other day that I thought was kind of interesting how like a lot of times boomers might be discounted in like the online arena because traditionally there are certain age brackets that aren't as active. But I think if you look, like the average age on Facebook is probably much older now than it was a couple years ago. Like my son, if I send him a message on Facebook, he's like, "Yeah, I don't use
Yeah.
that."
I mean, I have an 18-year-old and he's not even on Facebook. So, I think that younger demographic is gone off Facebook for the most part. And I think it is that older demo that is using it now, because they've adapted it. It's not a scary thing anymore. And plus they get on there, to see their grandkid photos and, all of that. So I think that's where Facebook is so good for community pharmacies. You are hitting that older demographic. The younger ones have moved on to other platforms. So
Yeah. Yeah, I find myself kind of fighting that. I'm like, oh gosh, it finally happened. like, like I'm in the I'm not cool anymore. Evidently, darn.
because you're still on Facebook or you're not on Facebook?
Oh, I'm still there. I would still have my MySpace if I could, man. I'd gotten really good at HTML stuff, and then now it's all just useless skill that I can't show off anymore on social media.
Maybe some other new platform will come around that you can show
Right?
it off
Maybe,
on.
maybe.
So
So we're just about out of time here. So what would you recommend again if you are a pharmacy that um, has just decided, hey, look, we're going back to normal. Um, you know, what should we be doing differently next year? Like what should we be focusing on moving forward? If we're not doing anything right now.
I would just, my advice would be to pick a unique service that competitors don't offer, and start there. And look where you marketed in the past and what was successful. So if you did social media, good old fashioned direct mail, reaching out to doctors, kind of whatever your success points were, go back to those, and just starting over. Another thing you could do is a customer survey, just a quick poll of, hey, what would you guys like to see in our store? What would you like to know more about? Things like that. So the benefits of the survey are twofold. Is you learn about what your customers are really wanting, and that can kind of help shape your plan going forward. But also then your customers appreciate you asking them, right?
Mhm.
So that they're like, oh, they must really care what I think if they're going to take the time to ask me. One caveat with surveys is, you need to take action on that feedback. So if, you get a huge response for adding vitamins or something, and then you don't do it, customers are going to notice
Right.
that. So make sure that you actually implement changes that people give you feedback for. But I think those are some great things to do to get started.
Thanks for listening to this clip from Beyond the Scripts, presented by the Catalyst Pharmacy Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please support our channel by liking, subscribing, and clicking the notification bell so that you'll be notified anytime we post new content. To stay up to date with all of the latest independent pharmacy news and content, follow PioneerRx on your preferred social media platform.